I wanted to do this video for so long. Compare an entry-level wheel to equipment that I'm building for years. My setup behind me that I'm taking care of for years. You know, I'm sim racing for 15 years, and for the last 4 years, thanks to YouTube, we are trying to building up, you know, and I'm very happy with everything I have. But I would like to see how I perform if you put me out of my shell. And imagine like we just start sim racing by an entry wheel. So we have the Logitech G920, which I feel like is like a good entry wheel in terms of pricing, because for me the entry-level wheels are basically Trustmaster T150, which is like 200 euro, G920, which is like 250 to 80 euro, and then you have Trustmaster T300, which is around 380, something like that. So I feel like this is like a reasonable somewhere in between, because getting into sim racing is very expensive. As you can see, like basically the entry wheel, which is like reasonable, is already like 250 euro, which, yeah. But today, we're gonna compare it to this. I'm gonna be doing hot laps on several tracks and several different cars because I wanna make it a little bit harder for myself. And I'm gonna give myself a bit of time to practice, to drive. Let's say I'm gonna give myself like 20 minutes driving with my normal setup and then around 40 to 1 hour with the new setup and see. Obviously, I'm gonna be driving in my normal chair with the wheel put on a table to make it as entry level as possible. And I would like to compare how we're gonna do, guys. What do you guys think, by the way? If you haven't watched the video yet, check in the comments or let me know in the comments what do you expect, because I'm very curious if we will notice a big difference. For me, I think massive difference will be the brake pedals, because my brake pedals are really good and very expensive. So I'm very curious how we will compare in those and how close we will get to actual lap times. So let's go. So I thought I'm gonna start with something I'm more familiar, so make it a little bit easier so we can try hard a little bit on the lower end wheel. So I'm with my Fanatec DD1, Fanatec 2.5 Club Sport, my Venom Attrax 2 pedals. So like really I would say very high end level setup. Obviously you can buy much more expensive, but we are talking about 1,500, maybe close to 2,000 euros right now, $2,000. So yeah, pretty expensive equipment, I would say. And we're gonna start with something I'm more familiar with. I'm gonna take Aston Martin on a Nürburgring. Guys, we are on an Apex Online racing server, so every server is 23 degrees, so we will have exactly the same conditions to drive with both setups. So I'm gonna take Aston Martin on Nürburgring, and let's see how we're gonna go. I'm gonna give myself like 10-15 minutes with the Aston Martin, set a lap time, and then we're gonna continue. I'm basically gonna do all my laps, if you're wondering, on my setup now, and then we're gonna switch to the Logitech G920. Alright, I did a race yesterday in this combos. I feel like I'm already maxed out. I basically did what I did in a quali in a much colder conditions. So 53.5, we did 53.5, 54.5, 42.5, 16.5. I did only 4 laps to be fair, but I did yesterday like 3-hour practice. So I feel like on this combo I'm already maxed out. So let's go for the next one. Okay, the same thing. We are in a Honda at Kyalami. Again, Apex Online Racing server. And 23 conditions. Let's see what you can do. This might be a little bit harder because obviously the Honda is probably a little bit more difficult for me compared to Aston Martin. So I might need a little bit more laps. But this is what we did in LFM Pro last week. So yeah, let's go. All right, I think this is a good lap. Like 397, like I can do 396. I think that's the best I have done with the Honda in these conditions. So we can say a 10th, you know. But yeah, I feel first sector I'm not making very good. Like losing a 10th in the first sector. Otherwise the rest is good. So Honda Kalami, guys, 39.7. I think it's good. And here we are for the last comparison on my rig as well. Right now, I like my rig, guys. I like my rig, you know, it's so comfy. I know everything, where everything is, you know, I do like it, you know. I'm very comfortable, I like the pedals, I like the wheel. And for the last combo, guys, we are on a Brands Hatch with the McLaren 720S. Again, Apex Online Racing server, 23 conditions. So, yeah, let's see. I feel like the Honda on Kalami was really good. Aston on Nürburgring was also really good. So let's see what we can do with the McLaren here. Going from car to car feels so weird. Straight from the pits. Again, we did a Logitech G challenge on this track on combination, so the pace should be good. Guys, you can still, until 20th of February, you can still participate in Beat My Lap challenge. I will drop you a link below the video. And you can try to beat my lap and win Logitech DD wheel. Or a trip to Austria F1 with Lando Norris. So, yeah, check it out, guys. By the way, this is not a sponsor video or anything, guys. This is just me. So let's go! Okay, I think I can definitely do like maybe 1/10 better, but I think this is hard combo. 22.5. I take it. I take it. Hard combination. You have to really send it, guys, and everything. And it's hard. It's hard. Wow. All right, guys. So we have 3 different cars on 3 different tracks on my setup, on my baby. Let's install the G920 on my table with the pedals and let's see what we can do, guys. I'm very, very, very curious. We're gonna be using same setup, same cars, same tracks, same conditions. Everything's gonna be exactly the same, guys. So literally the only difference we will see, positive or negative, will be only the wheel, the pedals, and my driving. So let's go. Oh boy, guys, this is so weird. Like sitting in my chair. First impression already, like the wheel itself, like, yeah, obviously it's a cheap plastic wheel, but the pedals, oh, the pain. Those pedals are so soft. I mean, it's great I have 3 pedals, but they're so soft. And guys, you know what's the funny? My first ever sim racing wheel was a Logitech Driving Force Pro. I think it was 2004 or beginning of 2005 when I got it for Lift for Speed. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, it was exactly the same wheel, exactly the same pedals, except there were 2 pedals. Then there was the G25, that exactly, I think since G25, which was 2005, which I got. I was working really hard to get that wheel, by the way, in a part-time job, to get Logitech G25 in 2005, and it was exactly the same pedals. I have a feeling Logitech is literally making these pedals for 20 years. Maybe they made so many of those, they still have them. And the base itself is exactly the same as I remember, but the wheel is different. It's obviously better in possible every way, but it's entry wheel. It's entry wheel. So let's install everything and let's see how we can do. We are in a Aston Martin. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. I sit so discomfortably. This is a terrible chair. Oh, I can't brake 100%. Damn it! I need to... Okay, I have a big problem. I can't press the 100% brake. Okay, I will be back. Alright, the wheel is okay. Obviously, it's not direct drive, but... Oh my God. Alright. We got this. Obviously, the first feedback and the wheel itself is already the biggest weakness I can feel. But the pedals, oh boy, the pedals and the seating position, guys. I mean, as you can see, I drive, no problem. I haven't braked yet. Everything is shaking. The wheel itself is fine. Okay, let's see first lap, and then on the first lap, we're gonna be able to improve massively, I think. And the next few laps. Let's see. Okay, let's skip a little bit ahead and see what we can do. Right, 54.5. It's like a second slower. On the first lap, no problem. Let's keep going. All right, 53s. 53.9, that's pretty good, I would say. It's obviously still slower, but we are getting there. Good split. I'll break myself a lot. That's gonna be decent lap. 0.7. All right. Let's compare, guys. Let's compare. I think I did 0.5 if I remember correctly. And okay, I did 0.5, and if I look at the sectors here, basically, guys, I did, I don't know, 10 laps, 11 laps. And honestly, guys, I definitely feel I could improve. I could definitely beat my lap or do the same at least. Those 2:10s are easy there. My biggest problem is like the consistency, because I'm constantly sitting in a different position for every lap. You know, like every time I go on a break, my chair does this. And because of that, I'm losing a lot. So I feel like that's obviously, I would say on the equipment, I think I can do those 2:10s to do the 0.5. I think the Honda is gonna be difficult. I think Honda is gonna be difficult because there's gonna be a lot of, you know, Aston is like very planted. I think the Honda will be difficult, especially Kalami, also first corner, heavy braking, you know, like on Nürburgring. So, yeah, guys, let's see what we can do. We did 39.7. Let's try to beat that. Let's get close. Oh, my back is killing me, by the way, from the seating position. I feel like, honestly, like the most important for me right now is the rig. You know, the rigs makes everything so much better. Even like a cheap rig. But just sitting in the same position all the time, you know, that is just good. Guys, I remember I was sim racing on a table for 6 years. 2011, I bought my first ever rig and my sim racing life changed. Ah, that was too careful. I was very careful, but let's see. 40 flat in 4 laps. It's not bad, guys. Like, honestly, like, the biggest problem is like I go to braking and my chair is just moving around.
One eternity later.
Come on! Oh, thank God. Thank God. Guys, 399. I mean, it's obviously not the greatest time. It's again 2 310s behind my normal lap time. Honestly, the setup can do it. This setup can't do it. This can't do it, you know? This is the biggest problem for me. Who would have thought that the most important part of your sim setup is actually the rig, you know? Because it's actually, guys, 16 laps, it was actually making me mad because I was like braking to herp and I was like, "Ooh." So far we are losing on this. I believe this will be probably the closest we will be on this track. I think I did 22.5, right? That was good lap. So this is gonna be hard to beat, but let's see. Let's see, guys. $22.6. Wow. Third lap, by the way. Not bad. No. Guys, I tried. I'm trying. I had a delta several times to beat this lap, but it's almost like this is already like a hot lapping because my already 0.5 lap was really good, in my opinion, and I feel like I'm gonna really on the edge. But I definitely have the delta for it, guys. I definitely have the delta to beat the lap. Yeah, we can definitely do that lap, guys. Just putting it all together, you know. It Brands Edge, obviously hot lap track, but okay, we did 3 laps with the entry level wheel, and we did 3 laps with my, I can call it probably like a high-end, more expensive wheel. What is the verdict, guys? So we have tested 2 different equipment, one worth $250, one worth around $1,500 to $2,000. And what is the conclusion, guys? We did 3 different tracks with 3 different cars, and well, how did we do? So with my home equipment and my home setup and everything, I beaten the entry-level wheel on every single track. I must say it was close. I feel like my biggest problem, if I do like a conclusion, was definitely the braking in terms of like, how am I sitting? So basically I cannot even blame the wheel or the pedals, but more like my chair. If I would be having a chair with like a brakes, or maybe chair with no wheels, I think it could have been much better. Like, because like I was going into the corner, I was sitting like this, you know, then we're like forward, back, and so on. So Kalame, for example, was massive pain driving on the entry level wheel and entry level setup because, well, every lap I was sitting in a completely different position. I was going through the hairpin and suddenly I sit like this, you know. So that was really putting me off. But in terms of pace, I'm very happy because on Nürburgring I was around 2/10 behind, but I definitely could have improved. On Kyalami, I would say it was probably the biggest struggle, like getting used to the brakes, feeling the car, because the force feedback is obviously very low detailed compared to what the direct drive wheel, for example, gives you. So in terms of like driving the Honda, because it's like a loose car on Kyalami, it it gave me a lot of trouble, especially like braking to the first corner. I'm so used to like smash that brake, you know, with the load cell, like 100 kilograms load cell is what I'm having now. And like smash that brake and then trail brake a little bit. But with the no load cell pedal, I basically smashed the brake and I did a trail brake, but at the same time it was so hard to feel exactly where am I. So maybe even more weeks or more driving, like more hours, more weeks or for more months basically, I would probably get used to it, but that was giving me all 3 hairpins or 4 hairpins in Kalami were giving me quite hell in a Honda. That was really the most difficult. I was 3/10 of my lap time. So that's, yeah, definitely I had a Delta, by the way. I had a Delta to do 0.8, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't consistent. And talking about consistency, that's what I feel like in a wheel as well. Like here, everything is so solid. Force feedback is obviously giving me all the information. And it was definitely easier to be consistent. I think if I would do like a really difficult conclusion, I feel like if I would take that wheel, put it on my rig, even with the pedals, I could probably personally get around 1/2 on my lap times on every single track. For sure. But in terms of like endurance racing, I would probably have a little bit of difficulty because I don't want to say every lap was different, but it was a bit harder to get used to some places, what the car is doing. Like I feel like here I can just feel the car with me, you know? But yeah, I think that was good, guys. I must say like a 250 euro wheel, I actually like did enjoy it driving around. It was quite funny, you know. I felt like 2005, year 2005 again, which is, you know, because I had like basically exactly the same wheel in 2005. And it's amazing how far, you know, we went. But I must say, guys, like 2011 was when my life changed massively when I bought my first rig, like from GT Omega, which, like when you're sitting, it's like when you have a car, right? When you sit in your car every day, daily, going to work or something, you always feel like at home, you know? And then if somebody fiddle with your seat, you're like, what is happening? You know, how am I sitting? And what is this, you know? And this is exactly what I had feeling when I was driving on my chair. When every single time I was going in a different places in the corner, it was really driving me mad. I was like on a really good lap on Kalami. And suddenly, like, I did this. And I was like, no, you know, and I completely screw up, you know? So, yeah. What do you guys think about this conclusion? I would say my direct drive 2,000 euro setup is better than 250 euro entry wheel. So yeah, let me know, guys, if you did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like and comment if you did enjoy. And let me know what you'd like to see next probably. And smash that subscribe button, guys. Thank you very much for watching.